Hello, everyone, again, and welcome to one of the most exciting sessions on today's agenda. We're here to talk through one of our deepest and most effective integrations with none other than Klaviyo. You all know who Klaviyo are and what they do, but you may not know our speakers. So let's get acquainted with them first. Toby, let's start with you. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thanks, V. Excited to be here. Hello, everyone. I'm Toby, and I work at Klaviyo as an account executive.
Fantastic. Thank you, Toby. Good to have you here. And Jason, over to you.
Yeah, hi guys. I'm the Principal Onboarding Manager here at Loyaltylion.
Brilliant and fantastic to have you here also. Now, unfortunately, we won't be taking questions during this session, but we will start with the most important question there is to set the scene. Can you tell me both in just one sentence why you think loyalty emails perform so well? Toby, let's come to you first.
Yeah, sure. I think loyalty emails, they perform so well because they're highly personalized and just so relevant to customers. And I think, that in turn builds long-term engagement with them, a sense of community, brand advocacy, and ultimately impacts things like lifetime value and retention as well.
All of our favorite metrics. Thank you so much. Jason, how about you?
Yeah, exactly that. Loyalty emails are emails that customers want to see because they relate to things that customers have done or, things that they've, done to connect themselves with your brand. So yeah, they really help build that community and, from community comes retention and LTV, especially.
Absolutely. Fantastic. Thank you. So we know why they perform so well. Let's get stuck into the how. How do you send those loyalty emails? Toby, coming to you first, please, can you talk us through the different kinds of data that could be fed into Klaviyo from Loyaltylion and also whereabouts in Klaviyo you can actually find that loyalty data?
Absolutely. Let me share my screen and we can run through that in a bit more detail. So just wanted to start off by saying that Loyaltylion and Klaviyo have a fantastic integration. So it's pre-built, it's out of the box, and loads of different types of loyalty information is going to seamlessly sync into Klaviyo. So that's everything from points, tiers, things like referral links. All of this is going to flow in, and we'll be able to see these as events and properties within a profile. So what I'll do next is just kind of run you through what does that actually look like in Klaviyo. So here we have Denise, and Denise has been active today. So on this right-hand side, what we can see is a live feed of what's been going on with this customer. So today we can see that loyalty points have been added, and that was because they left their mobile number, and the SMS number being added has also tipped them up to the next tier, which is the gold tier. So all of these loyalty events we can see in real time on a customer profile, and we can also store unlimited amounts of data in terms of everything to do with the loyalty program. So just kind of a couple of obvious ones here on this left-hand side as properties. We can see, is someone a member of the loyalty program? How many points do they have? Kind of what tier they're in. So obviously if you have a tiered program, that could be things like bronze, silver, gold, VIP, alongside things like when they opted in and what was the last reason they get points. So then what we can do is we can look at this data and then start segmenting on it. So just to give you kind of one example, here is the segment builder within Klaviyo, and we have here a property, and we can very, very simply start looking at all of our loyalty data and segmenting. So this could be everything like segmenting maybe your VIP tier. Maybe you want to send them an email giving them early access to the sales or some sort of event you're running for a specific tier. Or maybe you want to target people that just have loads of loyalty points and see if we can encourage them to spend. So in summary, you can really drill down on any type of data you have that's coming in and start sending different personalized messages to them. So if we just pull up one example, here is one that's pre-made. This is our VIP segment, and we can see all the members that sit inside it. As well as segments, we can also trigger loads of different types of flows off the back of these loyalty events that are coming in. So I just wanted to share with you 3 flows that I have here for loyalty that can be set up. So this first one is a back in stock. So for a lot of these like really loyal customers, you know, they're spending a lot of money with the brands. And like one really nice thing that you can set up is a back in stock whereby customers who are part of the loyalty program, or maybe they're a certain tier like a VIP or a diamond tier, can get back in stock notifications before everyone else. So really, really easy to build this. The trigger is when something's back in stock. We do a split based on if they're part of a certain tier or not. And then here we'll see that our VIP customers will get that first and everyone else a bit later. So that's just kind of one flow that we could build. But the use cases here are literally endless. So just kind of looking at a couple others. Here is one I absolutely love. And it's essentially encouraging people who are really near another tier and incentivizing them to purchase to get access to that tier. So what we have is a trigger when someone is near a certain tier. So let's say I am on a silver tier and I'm close to the gold tier. We can trigger an automation and essentially say, hey, Toby, you're so near the next tier. And by joining this tier, you get access to A, B, and C benefits. And maybe that's things like free shipping on all orders. Maybe that's like 10% off all orders. Maybe that's things like access to specific in-store exclusive events or like content. And this is a really, really effective way at driving customers to spend more, make a purchase, to kind of move to that next tier. And then again, kind of third flow here. When they're in that tier, just kind of welcoming them to, you know, whatever tier they're in. So, you know, hey, Toby, you've made it. You're in the VIP tier. These are kind of some of the benefits you have. And we can really do like a tier-based welcome series. And we can do this for all of our different tiers, or anything perhaps maybe just in terms of joining the program itself. So that is a bit of a run through of some of the data points that come into Klaviyo from Loyaltylion, some of the ways that we can segment on that, as well as some of the flows that we can trigger off the back of these events.
Amazing. Thank you, Toby. It is lucky I don't have Klaviyo because I would be lost in there for hours setting up those kinds of things. They're fantastic. So that's the loyalty data itself. Next, we're going to look at the emails. Jason, your turn to share your screen. Please, can you take us through the setup of the 3 most important loyalty emails? As I said, I reckon I could go for days setting them up. So you're going to have to help us and guide us to the 3 most important.
Yeah, of course. So the first one I'm going to recommend, this is more of a universal thing on kind of how to use Loyaltylion properties within your Klaviyo email builder. But it also links to one of the emails that I do recommend having set up, which is obviously a welcome email. Obviously, for a lot of you guys, this is your first kind of venture into a loyalty program. So making sure that your customers know how to use it, what it is, and what they get out of it is key. So obviously, we want to keep them coming back. They need to know what kind of loyalty program they're part of. So the first part I do is when you're building the emails is I include these personalizations in here. Personalizations, essentially, we're just pulling in Loyaltylion data in here, and you can just add that personalization, and all Loyaltylion properties get their own loyalty, get their own personalization. So for this one, for example, it's the point approved personalization. Now, these look a little bit weird, but I will show you in a preview when they actually bring in some data. So we're using the approved points property here. We've also got a tier property down here, and then we've got the referral URL property down here. Now, I would recommend that those 3 personalizations, they are your key information for everybody in the loyalty program. So I actually recommend putting them on all of your emails, not just the welcome one. Obviously, like we said before, looks a little bit weird. If you're not in the loyalty program, it will just show up blank. So you can use some hide show logic just in here. So you can hide that. And there is more information about that in the Loyaltylion Help Center in there. Now, if I show you what it looks like with a little bit of data, we can go into your preview in there. And then I would like to just search for my own profile, just so we can fill that in. Just down there. And there we go. So it says, hi, Jason, welcome. We're thrilled to welcome you to the community. As you can see, I have a ton of points. I'm a very loyal customer. I'm also in the gold tier, and you can see this is my referral URL. So nice and easy to copy that. I don't have to go onto the website. It's a little bit more organic that way. So that is how you get Loyaltylion data actually into your email content. And then when you send that out, it will dynamically change based on the individual customer. So it saves you a ton of work. And if you use the hide show logic, it means that you don't have to do 2 different versions of every email. You don't have to do a normal one and a loyalty one. You just do them at the same time, and then it dynamically changes based on somebody is in the program or not in the program. Now, the next one I'm going to show you is going to be a post-purchase loyalty follow-up. So obviously, we've done a welcome when they're in the program, but this is for your guest customers. So this is guest customers who have managed to not make an account when they've made a purchase. So this is the best time to try and get them back into the loyalty program. So it starts with a Shopify metric trigger. It is the placed order metric trigger there. And the reason we want to use a metric trigger is metric triggers allow you to get full autonomy. Basically, anytime somebody makes an order, time somebody does something, it always triggers in there. So the more metric trigger related flows you set up, the closer you can get to it being autonomous. Obviously, that means less effort for you, more value coming in. So we use the Shopify placed order. We wait a day because we know they're going to get the order confirmation, the shipping details, everything like that. Then we want to do a conditional split and see if the enroll date, so that's one of the Loyaltylion properties. It's like the most basic property that we've got. As long as you've got a profile, you've got an enroll date. So if you do a conditional split for enroll date is not set, you know that they're not in the loyalty program. And that's great. We want to target that cohort. So then we can send an email to saying join our loyalty program at some point. We then do a little wait period just to see have they signed up, do another check, have they, haven't they? If the enroll date is still not set, make an account, get your points, email them again. Wait another 7 days. We don't want to pepper them. And then we do final check. Enroll date is not set. Make sure you make an account before you expire. Now, obviously, the length of this branch will change based on your historical account in the make a purchase settings within Loyaltylion. So you can make that a little bit longer. This is the standard that we see. So 1 month to come back and make an account. So this is my second most important one because we want to make sure that we bring people back when they're most interested in your brand, in your products, and therefore your loyalty program. Okay. Now the third one that I've got is obviously getting some value in here. And this is using a Loyaltylion specific metric trigger. So this is available if you've got the Klaviyo events add-on or if you're on the Loyaltylion Plus plan. So we are using the Loyaltylion reward available event in here. And this will trigger anytime somebody goes over your threshold of points for a reward. I'll show you a little bit about that down there. So we're going to do a wait. I'm just going to wait until the points have cleared, they're ready to go. And then we're going to do a conditional split. And this is a 2-part conditional split because we're going to check if the points approved is at least 500 in this case. And if the points approved is less than 1,000. And in a typical loyalty program setup, this would mean that they've got £5, $5, €5. And we do the points approved is less than 1,000. So we know that they've only got $5, €5, £5, rather than dipping into €10, $10, £10. So what we can do then is we can say specifically, you have a $5 voucher in this case. If we follow this along, I'll do the same thing in this one, but I'll do points approved is at least 1,000, and then points approved is less than 1,500 in there. And you see kind of rinse and repeat, you've got a $10 voucher there, Do the same thing, but up by 500, then you've got a $15 voucher there. Okay. If we stick with one of these branches, you've got a $5 voucher. We can then do another conditional split, and we can check if somebody has made an order at least once since starting the flow, and we can check if they've still got enough points. So essentially, did they make that purchase without using their points? We can then email them again because it's still true. They still have $5 voucher. And you can also link this branch over to the $10 voucher if you want. But the idea for this is very revenue focused. It is all about LTV. It is using the loyalty program to bring your customers back to your site to use the points that they have earned on a new purchase. And then let's say if their next purchase takes them over 500 points, they go right to the top of the funnel. So again, you set it up once and then it just creates value for you. So that is my third most important. Obviously, there are a lot more other things that we can set up. Had to limit it down to the three, but there we go.
3 absolutely great ones. I love that you've got from somebody enrolling all the way through to making the most of them once they're part of the program. Thank you so much, Jason. I hope everybody was taking notes there. I know I was. Now, final question, and I'll come back to you for this, Toby. How do you report on the success of those emails?
Yeah, of course. So there's actually tons of different ways that we can look at analytics in terms of the success of loyalty emails, but also, in fact, SMS and mobile push notifications as well. So what I'll do, share my screen again, and we can take a look at some of these.
Great.
So here, just kind of simply speaking, this is on a campaign level. So whether that's an email, an SMS, or a push notification, we can see the performance of how that's gone in terms of things like engagement, revenue, orders placed, but not just on a message level. You know, we can also have dashboards, so we can have these specific to loyalty, so we can understand how our loyalty emails performing across things like automations and campaigns, and really drill into this. So we could do a dashboard just for loyalty and how that performs. But not only that, we can also look into segments and understand how engaged are our loyalty program members. So here is an example of our VIP segment, which is our top loyalty program members. And we can see, how do they change over time? Like, how much growth are we seeing in these loyalty members over time? We've got really nice analytics here, drilling down into that growth. But not only that, we can also look at the engagement of these segments as well. So we can break our different loyalty statuses down, and we can understand how engaged are these members. How does that change over time? And from this, actionable insights in terms of how we want to adapt or change our loyalty communications or program based on some of this data. So really, really good in terms of, if you want to understand the value of your loyalty program, just by creating segments of people that aren't part of the program, people that are, and looking at things like the revenue and engagement that you're seeing from these different segments. And again, we can see this here specifically in terms of revenue from set members. So for our VIP members in the last 90 days, they brought in 1.6 million from email, 900,000 from SMS, equating to 2.5 million in total. So we can see these kind of numbers and compare them to different types of audiences that we have. And lastly, as part of our CDP, we can also create funnels. So we can create funnels on absolutely everything, but this could be from repeat purchase to the emailing to purchase of loyalty members. We can compare this to different types of funnels of different types of customers. Possibilities here are pretty much endless in terms of the ways that you can report on success, engagement, and adoption.
Fantastic. It's amazing to see more and more ways that you can actually report on your loyal community and the impact that they're having on your business. That's brilliant. Thank you, Toby. I'd also add that it's got a lot easier to report on emails via Loyaltylion's new dashboards as well, but no spoilers. We have a session on that later today, so stay tuned, and Freddie, our product manager, will be giving a tour of that too. So I think that's everything you need to know about using Loyaltylion and Klaviyo together to send more effective loyalty emails, or everything you need to know to get started. I'm sure there's a whole world more. But for now, a huge thank you to Jason and Toby for joining us today and giving us so many useful tips and tricks. Toby, if anybody wanted a more in-depth walkthrough of the integration, can they book a time to talk with Klaviyo?
Absolutely. Feel free to reach out to me. toby.osborne@klaviyo.com.
Fantastic. And of course, you can find out more about the loyalty side of things at loyaltylion.com. We very much appreciate you both taking the time out of your day for this session. Thank you, and we'll see you both soon.